Hurricane season starts on June 1st. That's less than a month away.
And one of the biggest issues that we see when storms hit are power outages.
For decades, the city of Tallahassee has been working to make electric service more reliable. That way, when the weather gets bad, there's a better chance your lights stay on.
WTXL ABC 27's Ashley Richmond gets the answers to some commonly asked questions about the city's power.
When Hurricane Irma rolled through Tallahassee last September, tens of thousands of customers lost power. Homes, apartments, and businesses were in the dark, some for almost a week. But in Florida's capital city, it doesn't take a hurricane or even a tropical storm to knock out the power. We see outages even during moderate or mild thunderstorms. That's why I asked city officials what's being done to make sure more people aren't left vulnerable when bad weather hits.
Possibly get these 3 trees right here.
Regina Fassig has lived in her family home on Riggins Road for 28 years. In that time, she's seen plenty of storms and the damage they bring with.
There's a ton of trees in the neighborhood, and so, those have gone down the past few times in the 2 hurricanes and the 1 downburst that we had. And so with housing damage mostly.
Some of Regina's neighbors have already started preparing for another hurricane season.
A lot of people have voluntarily taken down several trees because of the storms.
The power lines near Regina's home are above the road, but Rob McGarrah, the city of Tallahassee's general manager of electric, says that's not the norm anymore.
Virtually everything we build has been being put underground since the 1980s. So we've had a commitment in the city to go underground with anything new for years. What you see that's still overhead is the older areas of our system.
But in a place like Tallahassee, with nearly 200 years of history, traditional power lines still crisscross above many streets and classic canopy roads of the capital city. Moving those lines underground is expensive.
Between $1.5 million and $2 million a mile.
Despite the cost, some of those lines are going underground thanks to a city initiative.
We will cost share with the developers now to incentivize moving that overhead service to underground, and we've done that with several of the new developments that have happened. The Nines is one of the examples that comes to mind.
For homeowners in older neighborhoods who want underground utilities, there is an option, but it's not cheap.
If there's a group of residents that are on what we call a branch, not on one of our main lines, if they're all willing to spend the money to make the conversions on their site, we'll go in and underground that for free.
McGarrah says they haven't had many takers on that deal. The conversion process costs about $3,000 a home. He adds that if the city were to ever decide to put the power lines underground on their own dime, it would mean a major rate increase for customers. Instead, they're focusing on the #1 cause of most power line damage: trees. City officials say for many years, they asked people who live in Tallahassee what should be done about tree limbs. They wanted to let branches grow closer to the wires, but be trimmed more often. Then in 2016, Hermine blew through the city, and changes had to be made.
Before Hermine had hit the area, we had done a couple pilot areas of trimming out almost twice as far, and had seen reliability improvements from that. So the commission has adopted that citywide.
We're trimming more of the limbs that are above the power lines. It's not so much trimming back further, but getting those limbs that are above the lines that do cause most of the outages.
The result? More cutting and chopping to keep your electricity on the line. It's something homeowners say they appreciate.
We've been very lucky. The service has come back on pretty quickly within like a day or 2 after these major storms.
Another way the city is working on its power service, making it easier to report outages. You can now call, go online to telgov.com, or use the city's Digitally app. The sooner you report, the sooner a crew can get out and repair the line. If you have a story idea for the Insiders, you can email us at abc27news@wtxl.tv. Attention, the Insiders. In studio, Ashley Richmond, WTXL ABC 27.